your mind, but do you know what? I am still raging about Kazakhstan. So I've written else on top of that. I've managed to kind of keep my nerve and not get too carried away. I did apologise when I was on the pod because a lot of things I said, I wouldn't normally say it, but real, you get really caught up in the moment and you don't think properly. You're so angry with the situation. And I'm just looking back to last season and we are saying, how good is it? How good a feeling is it to be a Celtic fan? And now we sit here now and we're so disjointed when it comes to the manager and the board and the fans. And I feel it's like the board and the manager are slinging shots at each other, and we're standing in the middle, dealing with it all and still trying to support our club. It's just an absolutely shocking situation to be in, but we're going to get into the night and we're not going to miss a beat, that's for sure.
Definitely, that's for sure, mate. And like you said, I think the blessing this week for Brendan Rodgers and for the board is that he's never had his Friday podcast, his Friday press conference today, because I think there would have been some harsh words coming out of him and some serious questions for him to answer as well. But he's maybe this international breaks came at a good time for him, Kaiser. How are you getting on, sir?
Living my best life, legend. Been for a couple of Guinnesses down in the old Govan Arms. One of the guys for the chat, Big Dave, messaged me and said they wanted to go for a Guinness. He had seen online reviews that the Govan Arms was one of the best places to have a Guinness. He didn't want to go into the area. He knows I'm for the area. He gave me a message and says, would you escort me down there, Kaiser? So 2 Guinnesses deep. My man Dave put on for a couple of Guinnesses. Yeah, mate, I'm just as raging as everybody else with everything that's going on. Tends to be a sense of positivity, right? I'm still a Celtic fan. It could be worse. You know what I mean? It could be worse. I could be a Seth Covian. I could be a Sad Bear 69er. I'm not a Sad Bear 69er. So obviously I understand that. I have had visions of chaining myself to Jock's statue outside Parkhead with a banner saying hungry for change, starving for statements. I hope we get statements. I hope we get some sort of resolution, clarity, posts from Dies in Maeda. It's unravelling, my man, in my opinion. Jason's Technicolor Dreamcoat is unravelling stitch by stitch. And at every point, there's new threads that carry me deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. And I'm like, what exactly is going on at Celtic? It's puggling my brain. And at the same time, I can only laugh or cry, my man. And I've chosen laughter. I've chosen positivity. I've chosen to be a shining light for the community while we're all raging. One thing that I think that's important is all of us fans need to be on side. We need to be united. If whatever change we can achieve, whatever we're looking for, we need to be united in that prospect. Legend. Boom. Sorry, my man. Reacting to chat. Welcome in, Paige.
Right, Jerry, here we go. I'm looking forward to this.
Jerry, have you been doing your yoga all week, mate, like the rest of us? We had Friday afternoon, a wee bit of yoga, a wee bit of wusa, pray to Buddha and all that, carry on. How's your week been, mate? I hope the boys haven't been too harsh on you in the scaffolding.
No, mate, they've been all right. But everywhere you go now, Asda, it's just, everybody's talking about it, innit? We're all bumping in each other. I went to put the bins out and I bumped into wee Steph McKernan and Paul. You know what I'm Scott for Saltcoats?
Of course.
I'm not joking. He must have been by my house about 2 o'clock. I think his wife phoned him to say your dinner's ready. It must have been 5 o'clock and I was still chasing him. No fucking going on about Celtic offer. Wee Steph and that must have been like that. No. I don't know. Everybody bump into it, by the way. It's just the same. It's fucking just frustrating. We're talking about it, how it's just changed so quickly in the last few weeks. As I keep saying, I didn't think we'd be talking about this, you know. As you say, we'll get into it later, mate, you know what I mean? But I saw the family tomorrow night as well, mate. I've got a 50th at Seymour Hydro for my cousin Andrew, big Celtic supporter from Bishop Briggs. She's coming down here. So all the family will be, that's all you'll talk about tomorrow night as well. How the fuck it's just check. So just hopefully him with the sale foot mate in the next couple of weeks, we all calm down. We all, as Kaiser says, we've all got to band it together here. Board, manager, but as soon as you start doing your own thing, that's fucking, it's not on. We've got to stick together. So we have, mate. Stick together on it.
Scotty, I just want to pop this up a wee second. I've just uploaded this. This is John's TikTok here. So if you're looking to follow John, some good content on there. Obviously the Kazakhstan stuff, but other trips he's done as well. And so I'm
a bit old for TikTok. You know what I mean, Andy? But I do follow John on there, I think, you know what I mean? And if I don't already, I'll definitely go and check it out, John, my man. Kaiser's got there doing a couple of
Kaiser
and whatnot.
Kaiser, I'm a ball hair off of 50, right? Well, a pretty long ball hair, but still a ball hair. And I'm on TikTok. We've got over 15,000 followers on TikTok, so we do all right. We do all right.
You're the connection to the youth, you, Andy. You. I've had the reviews for the ladies out there in chat. I like Kaiser's good looking, but Andy's smoking. I've heard it all, my man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Take him back to the home.
Michael's asking there, did Nicholson have the meeting with the CSA yet? That will be 11. I believe he's having an interview with Sky Sports, I heard. So that'll be interesting. Maybe...
I don't know if that's true, Scotty, is it? I know he had a meeting with the CSA, but they're in cahoots together, aren't they? So there'll nobody.
That's fake news. I know Sky Sports were there. Sky Sports were there dealing with the ladies team coming up for the Derby run-in with the Seth Cows. So they were there and they were looking to interview all the ladies team for that run-in, that league run-in, and people just put 2 and 2 together and got 69. Sad bear 69. But they thought Michael Nicholson was going to come out and talk. Listen, that's the one thing we want, innit? As every Celtic fan everywhere, we want clarity. We want a bit of conversation from the board. Wherever we are, whatever we're up to, if they come out and they give us a bit of clarity, a bit of direction. What are you saving the money for? What's the rainy day? Dyson Maeda's comments. I can see why the board failed to sell Maeda. I can see why he's not going, because if we brought in that kind of money that I think we're due for Maeda and he went away and still never spent a penny, why not? That is the big question. Why not? Why are you not backing the manager? Why are you not backing the team? In my opinion, using the fact that Brendan Rodgers' contract runs out at the end of the season as a whip to beat the fans with is not good enough for me. We should have a director of football that ensures continuity regardless of the manager. We should be moving in a direction to make us better in Europe. European competitiveness equals domestic dominance. And what we're seeing now is we're playing ourselves down, in my opinion. We're just like, it's engineered decline, lads. There's no other way to say it. The board's engineering our decline to keep our rivals in touch. They're feeding the dogs a bone. It is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that it's all laid bare right in front of us and we get to see it happening, it speaks volumes.
Aye, it certainly does. And we are going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen, for sure. So let's get on with some Celtic news. Today was the anniversary of John Thompson's death. So on this day in 1931, Celtic goalkeeper John Thompson passed away following an injury sustained in a Rangers versus Celtic match. Born at 74 Balfour Street in Kirkcaldy, he was buried in Bowhill Cemetery in Fife. Over 30,000 people attended his funeral, some walking from Glasgow. Quite unbelievable, really, when you think about that these days. So that was the Prince there, the young man who died. Unbelievable, really. And I actually found some photos from his funeral that day, and just mental that people actually walked from Glasgow to get all the way there. It's a story that we've all heard of. John, I know you're just a young man, a young whippersnapper, but I'm sure you've heard of John Thompson. Just crazy to that it's all that time, 1931. Have you got any sort of knowledge of John Thompson, mate, and what happened that day?
Do you know, it's my nana and my mum used to sing the Johnny Thompson song, and I remember it growing up. And I remember going to Celtic Park and seeing the yellow jersey that he wore, and I thought that's incredible that like somebody go play a game of football, and he obviously got that head collision and sadly died. But no, it's what a song that was. I absolutely loved the fact that he played for Celtic, and yeah, God love him, God rest him. But I know the Johnny Thompson song, and God rest him.
Aye, good man. And Andy, just mental. This guy still, after all these years, is still talked about. Just a sad loss, 22-year-old, and as we know, he shouldn't go to a game of football and not come home, sort of thing. It was just an accidental collision, and it cost the young man his life.
Aye, and just obviously unfortunate for Sammy English. I know the guy that actually caught him with his knee. I think that guy actually had to get down to England and play. He really struggled the rest of his life, in fact, with that incident, So really unfortunate what happened to Johnny Thompson. Just a weighing when you think about it, when you put it in the kind of terms of the age of him, 22-year-old. It's such a bright future ahead of him and his whole life, and it's 94 years ago. It's just unbelievable and he's in folklore now, he will never be forgotten. The fact that he was a Celtic goalkeeper and he died on the park, which is pretty incredible, really. But sad, even you look at the footage, and he just froze. As soon as he was hit, he just froze and he looked like a statue. It was just really, really heart-wrenching and stuff. So I think no matter what age they are, every Celtic fan knows Nene's were about when he was playing, but we all know about Johnny Thompson. We'll continue. He is a legendary figure in the club. Obviously dying at such a young age. So, very, very sad. But he will always be remembered in the memories and the hearts of the Celtic fans.
Definitely, Kaiser is one of the guys that is etched into Celtic history, and for the wrong reasons, obviously dying on the football field. But he'll never be forgotten, as Andy said, mate.
As they would say in the kingdom, mate, just a burn. But the bravery you showed in that day when men were men to dive at the feet of an attacking player for the ball and receive that collision. And obviously he's copying my haircut, mate. He's copying it. I don't know how he copied it back in the past, but he's copying it. Look at that, mate. That pays homage. I wish I had curls like that. As Andy says, mate, in the history of Celtic now, he's in the pages of folklore. Very much so. What we look at now, and we look at the people who are in the pages of folklore: Fergus McCann, Jock Stein, people who saved Celtic, built a brighter future. And we look at our current situation, and I hate to keep harping back to it, but it's very much the tone of now. How is the modern day board members etching their name into history? It's not very good, in my opinion. But look, very handsome young man, just a bairn for the Kingdom of Fife, the burial place of 7 kings of Scotland and 1 king of the goals of Celtic, the Prince. I don't think we could have had this podcast without mentioning it, especially today. I know there's lots of groups from Fife who attend his grave every single year, lay down flowers, lay down tributes. And okay, we don't have the desire or the fitness of the people in Glasgow to walk the distance from Glasgow to Fife. Something that I've attempted myself, mate, after 5 beers and a square go with my missus and getting kicked out of the house. It's a long walk, let me tell you. It's a long walk, mate. I got as far as the Kincardine Bridge and I got a bus to Glasgow. I hitchhiked a bus like a Hulk. I was like a Hulk, mate. I was like Bruce Banner, hitchhiking my way down the road. But look, these things are carved into history for a reason. These are lessons. This is what it means to be a Celtic man, a Celtic fan, part of the club. people were willing to give their life. I don't think he knew he was going to give his life when he dived at the foot of an on-attacking player. And I do feel very sorry for the player that Andy mentioned. Sorry, what was his name? Something English.
Some English.
Right, I feel very sorry for him to know that you have just gone for the ball and actually hurt someone and it cost them their life. That is emotionally crumbling and devastating as well. But look, it's about remembering these things. This is what it is to be Celtic. This is what it is to be a Celtic fan. It's woven into our DNA. It's woven into our culture. The songs, the tributes, everything. Something I can only wish that was me, mate. Something I could only wish in my wildest dreams that I could ever play for Celtic. Never mind give my life for Celtic. But I certainly would if I was presented with the option.
Certainly, mate, certainly. And that's why he's got calves like Jack Grealish, Andy, because he walks to Fife every single morning, I think. The size of the bad boys. Jerry, the thing that struck me about this whole thing was the thing that really touched me was that photo there, mate. The 30,000 turning up and the people walking for Glasgow and things like that. It's magical memories to look back on. Tragic memories as well, but it's just amazing for me that he's still remembered to this day.
Aye, you say still going strong, isn't it? Been 22 years of age, wasn't he? Young boy. I think it was his man and dad were even in the game that day. I think and the brother-in-law and somebody. And they heard the noise, for the tackle. And Andy's spot on with Sam English as well. Andy, I think he had a wee spell at Liverpool, so he did, mate. But that guy had to drink, Andy, and he died early in his 50s and all, motor disease. So he died. So it's tragic for everybody, really, what happened. Just shows you what can happen with just getting in for a challenge, But listen, what a goal he was. He was just he broke into the Scotland team. I mean, he was 22 years of age. The world at his feet, I mean, he could have went and played on with other clubs, big clubs. But it's a sad story, but as you say, it's one history now, and it's a sad one, You see, it's got that picture actually looks a wee bit like the Saltcoats tune a wee bit, doesn't it?
It does, aye.
You used to get it. That's what it's like a wee bit back in the day when you used to be here,
Yeah. Is it still like that? Is that Saltcoats? Saltcoats is still black and white, isn't it?
It's even in colour, Andy. It's dull. It's just dull here.
There's a lot more children. There's a lot more children in the crowd that look like Scotty.
That's enough. That's enough.
As I say, it's a sad one, but as I say, he's in the history, and just unfortunate on a fitter part. And I don't expect to go out there and put a challenge in. Any other challenges, just right in the skill, the guy go to win it, right on the bone, So it's a shame, but sad, mate.
Yeah, a sliding doors moment for everybody, really. One moment in your life can change everything, and it certainly changed everything that day. Some other sad news coming out of Celtic today, John, was I don't know if everybody's seen this. It sort of came out today. Was about Bobo Baldi. It seems as though he's having some sort of mental breakdown at the minute over in France. John, he's only 49 years old, so same age as Andy, a couple of years older than myself. Very, very sad to see it, and hopefully the big man can get the help he needs, mate.
100%. Scott, I seen one of my neighbours sent me the link to it this morning. It was all in French, and I was like, I try to translate it, but I seen the subsequent translation, and it's dead sad. I mean, to be honest, we don't actually know the full picture of what happened, but for the looks of it, it looks as if he kind of went off the rails a little bit one night, and he's made the news for the wrong reasons. Again, it's one of the ones Bobo's going to get you. Bobo needs to pull himself in a wee bit and just rein it in. Hopefully he can get the help he needs and then get back to, I suppose, whatever he's doing now that he's retired.
Yeah, Andy, it appears as though he has been sectioned. One thing we spoke about in the green room was what Dan's just mentioned here is some sort of neurological injury. Now, it's something that's been spoken about early years with the heating of the ball and things like that, early onset dementia. things like that. I know there's been studies on it. I know Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton's very big in it. His dad died of dementia as well. You know, we're not want to speculate on this podcast, but it could be some sort of head injury. It just could be some sort of mental illness that sort of set in as well. But we wish the big man all the best, and hopefully he can get the help he needs, my man.
Aye, obviously, you know, Bobo's up there when it comes to, you know, Bobo's going to get you, you know, that legendary, he's like Hightower, isn't he? He's just this big, massive figure. And the guy's obviously get some problems going on, so hopefully he does get the help that he needs. I think when you actually read the article, and it's quite concerning for him to be in that situation. So, you know, obviously we don't know the reasons behind it, and I suppose we've got no right to know about it. The guy's got stuff going on, and all we can do is hope that he gets the help that he obviously needs. So, sad news, mate. You're just touching on the head injury thing. I totally get that, and I think it's relevant, but I think you find that with older players now, the kind of Lisbon Lions kind of generation, because the balls were really heavier then, you know, especially when they were wet, it was like heating a brick. I think modern day players, I'm not saying it's not a cause of anything. Obviously, there is chances that could be the case. I think it's less prevalent probably in modern day players because of the lightness of the ball and stuff like that. It's not as heavy nowadays, but I'm not saying that's not a cause. It could quite easily be that, but I think I really sad, and I feel sorry for him. Hopefully he gets the treatment he needs.
Yeah, Kaiser, you know, he would have been one of the top players when you're very similar ages, mate. The Seville run, things like that. I know he gets sent off in the final and stuff, and you know there's a lot of talk about that. But he was a man mountain, obviously, beforehand for Celtic, and you know it's just very, very sad to see a big, strong man like that suffering.
Yeah, exactly, my man. Force of nature, absolute man mountain. I think he was speaking to university students or college students in Marseille, and they cited that he had some sort of mental break. Right, look, me myself, mate, I suffer from cough syncope. So I cough and my heart stops pumping blood to my brain. And when that happens, I get a bit of brain fog. I stutter, I stammer. Things that have implicated my own health and my own later life, you know, that I've made myself be fitter, try and change my diet and stuff like that. But can only hope that Bobo Baldé, like, it just shows you, like, same as Gary Coleman, it doesn't matter the size of your body and how fit you are, how strong you are. The brain is an organ in itself. I can only hope that he gets the help that he's needing. I hope it's not serious, in all honesty, my man. I was like, a few months back, we were all talking and we were saying, where's Bobo Baldé? Where has he gone to? We've not seen him.
That's right.
There's Wally type books proposed of Bobo Baldé and James McCarthy. Perhaps they were skipping hands in hands down the Saltcoats shoreline. Who knows? But maybe I hope he gets the help that he's required here. I hope this is an episode that showed out something that's actually wrong. Maybe a physiological condition. Maybe something to do with his heart and the supply of oxygen to his brain. Who knows? You know what I mean, my man? I hope it's nothing serious anyway. A cult hero for Celtic, an iconic player. I remember the advert being on the TV and it was a big, massive belly bouncing about the Gorbals flats, and it was Belly's going to get you. And we changed that to Bobo's going to get you. And certainly when the Celtic fans chanted that, everyone with a blue shirt on was terrified. So I can only hope that the man gets the help that's required and comes back stronger. I would love to see him back at Celtic Park, involved. Went on a tour of Celtic Park and I got a tour of the locker room and the bathroom, and they had black and yellow tape around a urinal. And the tour guide says to us, that urinal's actually broke. And I said, that's the one Bobo Baldé used, because we've all heard the legend. The big Bobo. He actually whipped out the shorts and broke that thing in half, mate, like a karate chop. So I can only hope the man gets the help he deserves. And like even Andy mentioning Lions, what those guys were paid for how the trading history of our club was pittance. I can only hope, like surviving legends and stuff, I hope the club looks after them the way they should, the way I would, like time-honoured, like foundations of the club. We should be like putting more all into looking after them. And I understand the old swollen mitre rolling in a puddle and it gets crossed in and you head it and it feels like you've been punched by Apollo Creed. We've all felt that, you know what I mean? We've all jumped up for the old soaking wet mitre, missing a few patches, and took a sore one and dizzy for a couple of seconds. But I don't think it was as much in that day, but I certainly hope Bobo is okay. You know what I mean? On a personal note, one of those players that stands out for my youth, especially on the Seville run. I know he gets sent off and some fans were angry with him and whatnot, but I wouldn't wish him any ill health.
Yeah. Jerry, very sad to read about that today. There was reports that he got ran over and attacked and things because of his comments and stuff. And like I said, we don't know the full story. So, I mean, we can only go off the reports, but just very, very sad to see a big, strong man like that, you know, suffering the way he is, and hopefully he gets better soon. And as somebody mentioned in the comments as well, I hope Celtic reach out to him or some of his ex-teammates and maybe try and assist him with the help that he needs.
That's Scotty. I mean, we've got to remember, he's only 49 years of age. Big Baldy. I can't believe I've actually got to use a question on him tonight. And this happens today, you know. I've already done the quiz on Wednesday or Thursday night for the nights. Then I've actually got a question on him. You see, what you've got to remember is as well, these guys, they're loved with millions of people. Then all of a sudden you just finish your football, then you're lost to. You know, that's a big task. You know, there's not enough places in football to keep all these guys coaching and stuff. But that's a thing. You know, they just, one minute you're loved, then next minute you're walking down the street, there's nobody. You know, that's how some of these Celtic players, they walk by Ray Waynes to give them autographs. Fucking make sure you give them an autograph, because one day nobody will bother asking you. So take that on note.
Yep.
Because one day nobody will bother with you. And that's why you've always got to stop for the fans and speak to them and fucking make their day. Speak to Waynes and make their full day speaking to a Wayne. I know you're doing it every day and you can see the hang of it, but if we get a chance to sign somebody's autograph, it'd be brilliant, you know, for football wise. But just saying, sometimes we forget these guys are just training every day, having a purpose in life every day, and all of a sudden it's took off you. And next minute, there's guys in that struggle about that, Scott, having a purpose, and some folk don't, you know. So good luck to the big man. As you say, great player for Celtic. Big man was one of the boys, you know what I mean? Seville, you say, with ages. But I say, hopefully gets, I'm only guessing on the stories, you know. I don't really know the full story, but just sometimes maybe just getting, even training young boys, do something, just get out there and do something, you know, and keep yourself busy, you know.
Yeah, very, very sad. And I've done the Four Leaf Clover podcast, wishes our Bobo the best. And hopefully we'll see you back again soon, my man. Back to your good old self. So, massive news coming out of Celtic today. John, Daizen Maeda opens up on his Celtic exit while on international duty with Japan. He received an offer and was telling Celtic that he wanted to take the next step. They weren't able to make any good reinforcements, so in the end, they told me I couldn't leave. There were some things that I had agreed to personally, so I wanted to take on the challenge. I'd been talking to the club since before the end of last season, and I'd always told them I wanted to take the next step. But we had important games, so it was difficult. So, John, just as you thought it couldn't get bad enough this week at Celtic, this story comes out from Japan, and Daizen Maeda, apparently personal terms agreed with another club. Bids had been put in by the likes of Fenerbahce. Tottenham were interested when Ange was there as well, apparently. Some other teams. Celtic fucking about as ever. Not letting the guy go and not being able to get reinforcements in. It's just shit show after shit show at the minute at Celtic Football Club.
Aye, legend. That. Do you know, I seen that this morning when it came out, and I thought to myself, this is a bit strange. I mean, obviously we've had this week, and then Dyson Meza wants to go, and then you hear of other players wanting to go in the background and stuff, and you think, how long has this been going on for? And how long have the club spoken to these players and got proper dialogue off these players, talked to the agents, spoken, try to get into their minds, try to see what, because as far as I'm concerned, if Celtic want to let these players go, let them go, but let them go when they want to go. See if they want to go, cheerio, like the door's there for you. But it's I mean, the thing about it is that like the club needs to prepare, and for me, the preparedness of Celtic is the worst thing I've seen recently. Honestly, I think I've watched some horror films that are better scripted than this, to be honest. I mean, under Ange Postecoglou, we seem to have this notion of getting good reinforcements in quickly. And they were adequate reinforcements. They weren't just mediocre players. They were good reinforcements. Whereas I think with Dyson Maeda, he's a special player. His closing's fantastic. The way he's been playing, the way he must give James Tavernier nightmares every second night or something, just when he thinks about him. You've got to remember that although Maeda recently has been off the boil, I think there's something to be said about maybe Tierney getting into his position or kind of block. That's the way I seen it. I'm like, Maeda's not been in the right frame of mind recently. But for me, this all comes down to the board doing their due diligence and finding out what players are wanting or what their intentions are.
You're bang on, mate. You're absolutely bang on. And Andy, we spoke about it on this podcast that very, for the past few weeks, that his head certainly looked turned. He's not been the same player. John's touched on something there about, Tierney coming in. He's not got Taylor, who would sort of be the inverted fullback. Kieran likes to come down that left wing and into his sort of space. But he's not been the same player this season. There was rumours, as Kaiser, I'm sure, is going to talk about, that, the 3 Japanese players wanted to leave in as early as January. One of them did leave. We never replaced him. We're going to come on to it later, mate, but it's something. Why did Celtic not just let him go? Why not? You've let everybody else go and not replaced him. Why not just let the guy go if that's the case? But you wouldn't grudge him going, Andy, either, because he has been a good servant for us.
No, I'm going to say that, if there's one person in the team that I would have absolutely no bad blood about leaving the club or wanting to leave the club, it's Dyson Maeda, because that guy is worth about 2 players when it comes to work rate alone in the team, not including his fantastic season that he had last season with his goal scoring feats, but the absolute carnage that he's caused against the Huns is magical. So I've got no bad feeling towards Dyson Maeda. I said that he's one player I want to lose because he is like having 2 players. No, but we also spoke about the fact that if somebody does come in, this is probably the right time to go. And we spoke about it in the past about that, because you're now hitting your peak. If he's now getting the feeling that he'd like to try something else and you're holding him back, you're not going to get him at his peak anymore. I don't think his work rate is going to change, but his focus for an eye for goal has certainly changed. You can see that. And a lot of that is down to Tierney, obviously. I'm not trying to say it's Kieran Tierney's fault, but the way that he's been asked to play, the way naturally that Tierney plays, they're both almost running into each other. Dyson's got kind of nowhere to go kind of thing. And you're right when you say about Taylor. He plays a totally different way for Tierney as well. I think that the rest of the teams or especially forward players, have kind of struggled to deal with the way Tierney plays. And that's certainly affecting Maeda, as well as having his head turned as well, So the fact that Celtic have quite openly and found it quite easy to let Adam Maeda go within a day or two, if that is quite baffling to me, when you were getting offered 17-20 million for a player in June for Maeda, and deciding that was going to give him plenty of time to replace Maeda. You're not getting caught out, and then you're not going to get left with an unhappy player. So my worry is, and I think he'll still work away, he's going to be off in January, that's for sure. So the question is, what Dyson Maeda are we getting to the January? are we going to play him anywhere? Is it really going to be that bad that it'd be like being a player down? And you can say that he's been kind of shot shy recently, but he's going to be a massive miss in our team just for the press alone, for the chasing back and winning balls. And just spoke about it, that even the Almaty game, it was still kind of putting the effort in it. It wasn't quite working for him, but obviously with chances and stuff, but it was still trying to get back and win the ball, and that's something we're going to miss for Maida when he's away. But again, I'm going to say it, I've got absolutely no problem with, I know people saying see you later and all that, and I totally get that. Listen, we've all got different opinions. It's just my own personal opinion. I've got absolutely no problem with Maida going to be absolutely devastated, but nothing against him, because I think he's gave his all in the time he's been here. And it's probably a natural progression, maybe around about his time, that we've spoken about it, saying that it's maybe time they moved on, kind of thing. Talking about Happy Hatate as well, and obviously Togo's already away, so.
How long's left in his contract, Andy?
2 years.
2 years, 20, is it?
2 years.
Aye, so he's not. I think we're looking to. People are saying get him an improved deal, and obviously that's no happened either. I said that, Scotty. He'd be one of the highest earners at the club, because he works. He does the work of 2 players, so he should be getting a good wage.
A wage of 3-4. Fucking.
We'll be voting with the Europa League group by the time January comes anyway, so it'll no matter. He can go in January when he's got 18 months left in his deal. Kaiser, it's somebody we have spoke about who's obviously had his heat turned. You can tell by the way he's playing. His head's down. He's not the same player. But at 27-year-old, it's kind of like the Greg Taylor situation. You can't grudge this guy leaving Celtic, because he's gave everything to Celtic. And all right, he's not started the season well enough, but you had some information, didn't you, that the 3 Japanese lads were wanting to leave anyway?
Look, over a year ago, mate, right, I was clued in by my best mate, who was actually at the time goalkeeping coach for Celtic ladies. They always say, never reveal your sources, because as soon as you reveal your source, Celtic will rip it out at the roots. They'll get rid of it. Fact of the matter is, Celtic use the one Y Scout app. It costs 30 grand a year. So they use the same app for the men's team and the ladies' team. My friend was goalkeeping coach at Celtic ladies. He came and he told me all 3 Japanese players, Kyogo, Hatate and Maeda, had requested transfers. They'd come into the office and off the back of their national boss saying to them, I'm only going to take players that play in top 5 leagues to the next World Cup. So I knew that these players were requesting transfers. People told me I was talking a lot of bull crap and whatnot until Kyogo left. And then they were like, well, maybe that makes a lot of sense. Look at him jumping away, just going to this club here, challenging the relegation zone in France. Why is he going there? Because it's a top 5 league. Look, in my opinion, mate, Daizen Maeda's served his time. Even a 50%, as some of the chat highlighted to there, a 50% Daizen Maeda is 100% of another player. Because as Andy said, he's twice the player of some other players. He's tracking back, his work rate. I think he cut himself with that sword, playing on the wing and putting in such work. Kept him away from the centre forward position, kept us putting him on the wing and relying on him. For me, I don't grudge it, mate. If the guy's going to earn a transfer, he's going to earn a deal. He's got one last big transfer, one last big payday in the locker. He's going to earn money. I think he's on about like 14 grand a week or something at Celtic. It's not pins, it's not buttons, but it's not a Premiership wage. And if his head's been turned by a Premiership wage and he thinks he can go there, tick all the boxes for his national side, playing in a top 5 league and earn good money, who are we to sniff at it? Me, personally, I would look at it and say, no wonder the board kept that under wraps. No wonder that phone call wasn't answered. Because if we made 25 million plus on Daizen Maeda and still never spent a penny this transfer window, you can guarantee people would be throwing bricks through Michael Nicholson's office window and not throwing insults. I was at Paradise on transfer deadline day. I was actually filming outside Paradise. waiting for players to turn up, last minute deals, last minute things happening. Nothing happened. But I certainly heard a lot of disgruntled fans shouting at his window. I seen him shut his roll-up blinds while he was watching Disney Cars or something on his telly. He certainly wasn't on the phone. He certainly wasn't in A&E for a blood transfusion because he bleeds green and white blood. There's a lot to be answered here, mate, in my opinion. And it only comes from a statement from the board. Hence I said to all the lads, I've been hinting at it, I've been postulating at it. I wanted to chain myself to the statue of Jock Stein outside Celtic Stadium with a banner saying, hungry for change, starving for statements. I'd take the first one that comes along. If we get a statement from Michael Nicholson, if Sky Sports were going to be there and they were going to issue a statement, if they're going to tell us why this money's in the bank and they refuse to spend it, whatever the reason, be it stadium upgrades, saving for a rainy day, it certainly looks like to me, mate, like the Celtic board are dancing rain dances, like like American Indians, mate. They're dancing around the campfire and they're enchanting the rain on. They're bringing the rain on. Phil Collins' songs spring to mind, talking about I wish it would rain down. You know, they're self-imposing this. I can certainly see why if Daizen Maeda had that transfer in mind, had his head turned, had personal terms agreed, why our board certainly would not agree to it, because I know exactly what that would face, exactly what the support would be doing now if Daizen Maeda was gone. We would be incensed. We would be even more enraged than we are now. And I think the board have timed this perfectly with inaction and corporate mismanagement. They've left us when it's an international window, so they know that we're not going to be at Paradise to protest, sing, shout and cheer. Yeah, open letters to the board and whatnot. None of it does nothing, mate. It's the time for action, in my opinion. Like the old days, it's time to walk to Fife. It's time to put your shoes on and go to Paradise. It's time to stand in the car park. But most of all, it's time for the support to be united, my man.
Aye, and Jerry, the board, the manager, everything, they've had us on the deck with our legs wide open, booting us right in the Davina McCalls for the past few weeks. And then Daizen Maeda decides to release a wee statement from Japan just to give us that one last kick between the Chachankas, mate. What did you make of that today?
Aye, you say it was a pigment to the end of the week, wasn't it? So one of the ones, just the COVID, it just doesn't fuck, no fucking stopping, is it? Folk going away to fucking holidays and things like that, the learning, and it just seems to be just everything now. It just needs to stop. Listen, I've not got a problem with Maeda, as far as I'm concerned. We think with the Celtic board as well here, because what did he tell these guys when they signed them? Did he say come 2 seasons and listen, this is stepping stone to England? Then when it comes to 3rd season, they say, oh no, sign this. We don't know what goes on behind, you know. I think they've done it with a few players, Scott, you know, that way. They're promising them this and that. Then it's, listen, money's a big factor. We know that. We know the money's a big factor. Can go to England. The guy's what? Maeder's 27 years of age now. He's gone for one big contract, but 75 grand a week with that, fucking nearly 4 million a year.
Yeah.
4-year deal, 12 million quid. Listen, he's done his bit here, you know. I love him to stay, but listen, the Japanese boys, I'll be honest, when Ange left, I didn't think we would still be talking about them a couple of seasons after. So I think we've had them longer than what I expected, to be fair. I'm glad Ange never grabbed me to a cool. I don't know if folk will say maybe not good enough now, but I thought maybe Ange would have took 1 or 2, or maybe they moved then, Scott, to be fair, because you go with the managers you're suited with and who you go on with, so they could have stayed under Rodgers a wee bit longer than I expected, to be fair. But it's just a thing with end to end of the week, mate, you know. But for me, we just go today, he's go today himself, you know, and it's like with John, the old earlier, was saying about Celtic need to be prepared for these guys going instead of trying to convince them to stay. So John's bang on. I think Johnston for maybe Janovic is only one I know, John, off the top of my head, who have changed it quite quickly.
Yeah.
But the rest of them kind of, I feel as if I'm maybe begging them to stay a wee cut them. and we've not got MD. Instead of saying, right, he's gone then, we're going to move this guy on, and we're going to bring this guy in, a young guy, and keep it moving, you know. But I just think it's part of the board as well, and it's just came at a bad time, Scott. You know what I mean? But what can you do? I mean, Andy says media does the work of two folk. I mean, he's that good sometimes he crosses the ball in for himself, Scott. You know, and it's a hard thing to do. when you can do that, you know you're good, you know. But as it goes in my wish, if I don't like players hanging on, Celtic Football Club is an absolute brilliant club. I mean, to play for them about out this world, but you've got to remember the product in Scotland is terrible, lads. Get up to these Ross counties and up to these, I know they're not here now, sorry, but up to these teams 4 times a year and stuff. You can only do it so long. Good players, good managers can only do it so long, Scott. So I hope he keeps his head down to January, mate, and knows he's not going to get moved now. We all knew his body language there was something not going on right, you know. I'm not going to turn and say he's missing sitters just for the sake of not getting a move. I don't. He's not that kind of character.
He's honest.
Yes, he's not that kind of character.
He's a professional, mate.
Aye, so now I'm just looking for him to buckle down, do his bit to January, and now Celtic need to get their finger out and fucking have somebody straight in January. And by the way, when's that window open? January 1st? I want somebody in fucking January the next morning.
See, the thing is, Jerry. See, the thing is, mate, obviously he is going to go in January, but the problem Celtic's got now is everybody knows that Maeda's a player that wants away, and his value's going to drop as well because it's another 6 months off his contract, you know. So they've messed up big time with us.
Yep.
See, I want them in singing Old Lang Syne, mate.
I just look at it from my point of view. If I'm in playing in Japan, I know it's fucking talking. If you play in Japan and I got offered 3 times the wage in China, Andy, I don't owe anything to Andy.
Aye, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? This is Celtic. This is our club. We want guys. I mean, to play for our team and stuff. But in the end, these guys will make their own decisions. The family. 27 years.
Well, Tierney went. Tierney's died in the well Celtic. They sold him and he went.
Aye.
So he was away for a bit.
Aye. The good thing about Tierney, I can only say about him is, Andy, I'm glad he's came back now. He's not come back at 32 or 33. Just to see he's come back at least at 27, 28. But as you say, now in the modern game, you'll not get any testimonials now, will you? In the modern game now.
And see that last comment, mate, that fills me with a fear because I know Maloney trained under Pep Guardiola, and it's that ticky-tacky football that Brendan loves to play, and it's a seamless transition, and it's a football.
He's killed football.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm sick of it.
Oh, so
it's that downturn in football, that shoe horse of death. I've not seen a shoe horse like it since somebody was kicked in the heat and blazing saddles, mate. It's the shoe horse of doom. I'm absolutely sick of it.
I don't know, are you making that film, guys?
Well, we're making it right now in Glasgow, mate. It's blazing saddles right up in here, man. You know what I mean?
Let's not mention any of the characters, lads. Let's not mention any of the characters in that film.
Brendan's arse should be burning, mate, but he's taking his 3 million. He's going to see out his contract. He's gone at the end of the season. For me, I want reform. I want change. I want change from top to bottom. I understand. Protesting and inciting change in the board isn't going to happen. Right, we've got Dermot Desmond, the moustached Hoffwat. It's like the human centipede, mate. We've got Desmond and then Peter Lawwell and then Michael Nicholson, all stitched to each other's bum cheeks with a percentage of shares that vote the same board in every year. We're not going to get change there. We need to take small victories, part on part, piece on piece. We need to take what we can get, my man. You know what I mean? If we're all going to stand outside Celtic Park and protest that Peter Lawwell should go or Michael Nicholson should go, they don't care that he failed to answer phone calls. In his opinion, he failed to answer phone calls for a reason. That's what I'm trying to highlight here. If this Maeda deal was on the cards, if he had agreed personal terms, if there was money in the post and they still didn't take it, they didn't take it for a reason, mate. You know what I mean? They didn't take it for a reason because they know the uproar for fans would be as such. It would be like dire consequences. Like, Meet me in the car park, Trips. Don't go in the stadium. Meet me in the car park. Kaiser will breakdance. I'll keep you entertained. It'll be better than the football you're watching for Brendan.
Kaiser a bit of fuck. Kaiser a bit of lino. Can a bit of tune.
And a guy will once up.
Body bottom,
Twenty
mate,
days,
on a bit of
20 days
lino.
black spins. Know what I mean?
Aye.
Me
I used to go to breakdancing classes like that. Mine used to walk about the streets with a roll of lino, man. Aye. You get into your
Scott, you
most
need to
kitchen.
sell on the
Get into your
Scott,
most
the thing is,
kitchen. There's a big. Get into your most kitchen. There's a big square cut out of it. So what's going on here? Get out
What
breakdancing.
has this podcast become, man? What has this podcast
Oh,
become?
It's so joy.
John, we haven't been on, mate, since deadline day, really. I think we were all scunnered, to be honest with you. But let's just have a quick look at Celtic's ins and outs. Dyson Maeda said that he wasn't allowed to go, basically, because there wasn't a replacement. And then we signed 2 wingers on deadline day, basically. And this is the ins and outs, mate. That beautiful profit sitting in the bank as ever. What did you make of the ins and outs and the whole sort of transfer window, John? What was your thoughts on it all, my man?
I thought it was, well, with just looking at that, you look at the valuation purely based on value. Again, Celtic are getting players for free, getting players on loan, buying players for, like, there's a player there, Yamada, 1.5 million, Nikrin, 1.7 million. And then we've got players that are going out the door, Nicholas Kuhn being the big one for 17 million. And you think, where's this money? Just look at the valuation side of things. There's just, I mean, what rainy day? I think Kaiser alluded to it earlier, or one of you did. What rainy day are we saving for? Like, is there something going to happen in the future? Is it the Champions League? Is it the full coefficient? But this is where the dialogue from the board comes in. And that, I don't know if that purely relates to the transfer window, but it's been like this all the time. We are a selling club, we understand that. But we had an opportunity to sign players before the 14th of August to get them in for the game against Kairat, to get them in that playoff transfer. And I was thinking, at the start of August, I thought, this is too quiet. And we're waiting in the Champions League. And for me, that has been the biggest disaster. We're waiting for any Champions League, whether we're in the Champions League or not. We need players in to compete in the Europa League. So it's irrespective of that. You know what I mean? We'll still struggle in the Europa League. Doesn't matter if we're playing Bayern Munich, if we're playing your Real Madrid this world. We'll struggle against a Feyenoord who played well last season. We'll struggle against a team like Roma. You know, we've got hard teams in the Europa League, and we ideally want to go far because that's been the ambition. And for me, it's so painful, and I don't know how you guys feel. Right, I bet you feel probably the same. It's painful watching Brendan ask for money. Honestly, beg for money, try to reassure the fans that he's getting a replacement in, and yet we're sitting, transfer deadline day's done, Ida's left the building, and we're sitting with no striker, and we're thinking, what the hell's going on? And we have to wait in a free transfer when Sevilla basically terminated in the actual contract, and then we got him in for free. I just think that's just mayhem, to be honest, guys. I don't know what you think, but the ill-preparedness of this club is just getting worse and worse.
It certainly is, Andy, and we've gave you a week to calm yourself down because I know that you're still raging, mate. We spoke in the green room about it, my man. Yeah, ins and outs. We haven't really had a full chat about it because we missed Wednesday's pod. I think that's when we were still proper scunnered and raging as well. And I know we're all still raging, but, you know, give me your overall thoughts. I think the telling one was, as John just touched on there, Adam Idah will not be allowed to leave the building if we don't have a striker in. That's what Brendan Rodgers said. And yet again, Brendan Rodgers contradicted himself. The board not backing him, obviously. The Dolberg deal looked like it was going to be done, and Ajax came in and took him off us even at the last minute. But was the guy want to come in the first place, and why would he come when you see the shambles that is Celtic Football Club at the minute?
They had the chance to do that deal weeks and weeks ago and messed it up, mate. You know, and it came down to penny pinching again, arguing it. In relative terms, that's where it's down to. penny pinching. Talking about Ida, they were always going to sell Ida. We bought Ida for 9 million, and a club's coming in with 7 million. A guy who is totally misfiring this season altogether. His valuation is not going to rise beyond 7 million, and they're looking at that saying, listen, we're taking a hit for 2 million here. It could be worse. We need to get rid of him now because he's not going to get better at Celtic. Certainly no the way we are set up to play. So they were always going to do that. Very strange that Brendan would come out with his comments, and then almost instantly he does away, gone. But the whole farcical thing is he's done there. They're calling him back up for the Glasgow Derby. He's not even in the squad. The same way Yang as well. Embarrassing. Embarrassing for the club the way they. I'm telling you that the situation we're going to be in when we do go to try and sign players in January or sell players, no club is going to want to deal with, no agents are going to want to deal with. And the fact at the end of the season, because we know that Brendan isn't, we're lucky he's still here. Well, some people say maybe we're not lucky, but we need a manager, let's be honest. So we need somebody to steer the ship. Whether you agree with his tactics or not, and that personally I don't like the style of football he plays. But that's neither here nor there. The problem we've got is as well, at the end of the season when Brendan does leave, what kind of manager are we going to be able to attract? Who is going to want to come to Celtic working under a structure like that, with people like that?
Yeah.
Who are we going to get? Who are we going to attract? Now, we're going to end up with Neil Lennon. There's somebody else that's backing up the board live on TV. The debacle's happening in front of his eyes.
Charlie Mulgrew as well, mate.
Aye. It's, I'm absolutely sick. I'm actually sick of the whole thing. I think there's a collective responsibility here. The majority is definitely on the board. The manager's got to take responsibility because let's be honest, right? You can say we need this, that, and the next thing, but you're looking at that team that played against Almaty. That should be able to beat that team over 2 legs. That was an absolute embarrassment. So for me, that's on the manager. We need reinforcements, and John's quite right. Whether we're in the Champions League or no, or in the Europa League, we need to upgrade the team. We need to continuously improve. Otherwise, you're either standing still or you're going back. So we need to see progression. And Brendan said that when he came in, especially when it comes to Europe, I want to see progression. We made a wee bit last season. You're then looking to build on that. We're even worse. We're out of the competition altogether that we were trying to improve in and down to the second level of European football. And by the way, looking at the teams we're up against, we're not going to be in that for long. I guarantee you. Not the way that the team's playing now. A collective responsibility. But that board should be absolutely ashamed of themselves when you've got people that are spending hundreds, sometimes thousands. There's John. One of them got to Kazakhstan to go and spending a fortune to go and watch his team, and they put on a performance like that. He's no away. He's away getting trains down to Manchester and flights to Istanbul, and then a flight for there, and then barely seeing the end of the game because he's got to go and catch his flight again. And these arseholes are in first class, no giving a fuck about the 400 people that spent thousands of pounds to go and see them. So they need to be responsible as well. They need to be responsible as well. Brendan's got to take responsibility. The players as well have got a responsibility. They're at their work. If I'm at my work and I perform, I'm not going to be in a job for long, that's for sure. I'm going to be on the dole. So, they've all got a responsibility, but the board in this situation are just, they're really stripping the club to me. See when you buy a building and they're saying, that's getting demolished, and you see them pulling the windows out and it's basically the frame that's left, and then they just demolish it.
Scrapyard and the fucking lead windies and wires.
Do you know what? See Celtic to me, this is going to sound nuts, right? But see the punching machines you get? Now that you see the boxers playing them to see if they can get up to 999 or whatever. Now you put your money in and you punch it, you see how hard you can punch it. That's Celtic one. You put your money in and it fucking punches you. Honestly,
There's There's nothing worse than Mrs. B shirt, but
You put your money in, mate, you expect a punch and you get a kick in the
Aye.
stones. In
I
my
know.
opinion, mate, it's Paula
It's-
Abdul FC. Two
Aye,
steps
it's
forward,
it's
two steps
farcical.
back.
It's farcical, and,
Aye.
and as I say, we're stuck in the middle with us as fans, which is an absolute travesty.
Yeah.
There's no excuses as well, boys. See, when I was out in that Kairat game, I thought to myself, I was watching this game and watching how it was so turgid, horseshoe football, back to front, no attacking. I think I watched it. I thought, you know what, I watched the highlights, right? And the first highlight was about 86 minutes in the clock. I think James Forrest had his header, and then the second highlight was 86, and then it was penalties. And I thought to myself, fucking, where's the chances? Where are we actually going to have an exciting brand of football? And I was watching this, and I said, you can't blame the travelling, you can't blame the attitude, you can't blame anything. I'm here, I could go in the park and do a better job up front. Do you know what I mean? And you're looking at players that are just giving that little bit extra, going and taking that risk, getting in behind, getting balls across face. Celtic last season, see about all the goals that we scored. If you watch back every goal that Celtic scored in the last 5 years, across face goals, get to the byline, swing it back for a Kyogo. You know what I mean? Swing it back for an Abada, swing it back for I don't know, Dyson Maeda. Where is that intensity? Where is that football that we need? Every Celtic fan wants it. We want to be on the edge of your seat. See, the thing is, we don't mind if we lose a goal or two in the process. See if we go score 4 and we can see 2. Fine. Brilliant, 4-2. But we want to see excitement. And for me, boys, I don't know. But that Kairat game, I was like, this game is inept of excitement. And same again against Rangers, inept of excitement. And for me,
John, he
that
left
is
three
inexcusable.
three strikers that he signed on the bench that night that he could have brought on.
Aye.
For me, just now, John, mate.
See John Senior. Sorry for butting in, John. See John Senior. Sorry, Kaiser. See if I was a striker, I know Celtic interested me. I'm fucking sorry, lads. I'm not going to sign them because the wingers are cutting inside. You're getting no service. So for me, it's all right saying the wages and money and this, but you're not. I mean, they're not even getting balls in the box for a striker. Every striker we've had the last few years just gone. Gone. I mean, it's frustrating as fuck.
We don't safe football. See, times, boys, I don't think we want safe football. I think Celtic fans, we want excitement. We want to be on the edge of our seats. And the thing is, we've watched Ange Postecoglou. We've seen a template and thought, magic, we'll take that. We will take that and we'll accept a blueprint of that. And if you replicate it. Now, Rodgers has brought in his own style. And I appreciate that, right? I appreciate this is his team. But at the same time, we still want to see your likes of Kairat, who are 311th in the world, being on their back heels, balls going into the box, hitting the bar, 3-4-5-0. Should have been done at Celtic Park, and then we should have went over there. I don't mind a 0-0. But then again, this is what it comes down to, boys. It comes down to the way that we move the ball. But I watched the game last year, and Celtic, if you remember, won 3-0 against Rangers. And I think Kyogo scored an offside goal. But if you remember the build-up, you had O'Reilly in there, working off Alistair Johnson, working off Abada, and then it balls across face. It was just magic to watch. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we want. I can't mind
just saying, John, just saying, mate, all respect to you for going to Kairat, right? For getting that flight, for going to support the club, for going out there, right? In my opinion, they were very Scottish-esque. They were playing the low block. They knew exactly how to hurt us. They knew we had no answers to the questions that they were posing. They know Brendan was going to... He's tactically inflexible, right? He's an egomaniac. He's a full free guy, and he's sticking to it. And at the entire time I was looking at the game, at Paradise, I was looking at the game and I was like, right, this is going to tell him. This is going to tell him what he needs to know. We need to go 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, play 2 strikers and overcrowd the midfield. It's what I've been saying about in the derby, mate. It's we need to crowd that midfield. We need to take the emphasis. We need to push forward. Not at one stage has Brendan changed. The patterns of play are the same. The best I've seen from Brendan Rodgers was seeing that mid-transition phase from Ange ball to Brendan ball, and I call it Broge ball, when we knew when to go after. We knew when to go after teams, when to go for the jugular. We played that Ange Postecoglou forward passing and all-out attacking, and then we knew when to game manage for Brendan's horseshoe, the horseshoe of doom. We knew when to bring that in, right? We knew that was like this mid-range between Brendan and Ange, it's completely gone. And why John Kennedy is a coach, and he knows all these patterns of play. He knows everything from Ange Postecoglou. He was there every day. He was doing the training. Ange was sitting on a fucking hull at the side of the training park, watching players. John Kennedy was implementing everything. Brendan Rodgers, much the same. He's on the training ground. John Kennedy's the one consistent feature. He's there implementing the horseshoe. I think Brendan's football, for me, right, utterly diminishes, demoralises and destroys strikers. Adam Ida, for me, is a fantastic striker. He has all the physical attributes to dominate a game. When a ball is played in behind, when he's running onto a ball, when he's been asked to drop deep and initiate play, I'm very sorry, he's not that kind of player. He had the first touch of a leper with psoriasis. He couldn't tap a bag of cement in a phone box, right? He couldn't bring the ball in. He couldn't initiate play. He couldn't turn. He couldn't go. We're seeing it with Callum McGregor as well. The best creative passing midfielder in Scotland who can't receive a ball from Liam Scales and turn one on-rushing midfielder, try to shut him down. He passes it back to Liam Scales. He never turns the man and looks for the open play. Yep. He just passes it back to Liam Scales. He leaves that 6-yard closing distance to one of your worst distributors on the park. Now, Liam Scales running with the ball, I think he's fantastic, but his passing leaves a lot to be desired. And that's patterns of play. That's what comes into it. Other teams look at your pattern of play. When does Liam Scales lose the ball most? Where we lose the ball when he's passing with his right foot into the inside of the park. So go on his left-hand side and force him to pass that way. You're going to turn over the ball. That is everything that's about scouting and preparing for games. What we failed to do against Kairat, what they looked at our league and done was when teams play against a low block and they're solid against Celtic, they run out of ideas. They don't tactically change. They're not flexible. They don't have the kind of strikers that are penetrating the lines. They don't have your Tom Rogic with a moment of brilliance. They might get 1 minute, one chance. We get one chance. And Dyson Maeda took it on his left foot instead of his right foot. Some people could say his head was turned. His napper's not in the game. He could have done better there. For me, mate, I don't think that, right? I think Dyson Maeda done the best he could possibly do. I think he actually snatched at the chance. He wanted us to get us there so much, he snatched at it and blazed it over the bar. But we're no craft, we've got no guile. We've seen it, Celtic done it against Barcelona, one of the best club sides in the world. We played anti-football, we sat back against players like Messi and Ronaldinho, and even they ran out of ideas. Of course our squad's going to run out of ideas. We have no way to draw teams out. We don't draw them onto us. We just relentlessly attack. But that's what we're seeing. That's the difference now. Brendan's football is not relentlessly attack. It's not the Celtic way. It's pass the ball back. Callum receives the ball, passes it to Scales. Scales passes it to Callum, passes it back to Scales. Maybe go to CCV.
Run out of time here. It's only 90 minutes, guys.
Well,
there you go. That's possession. That's exactly it. That's possession play, mate. I'm possessing the chat here.
It's terrible. It's a terrible watch these days, Jerry. Just have your own say, mate, on transfers in and out, Jerry, and then we'll boost on from there.
You know what? It's been a terrible, basically, Scotland. It's been fucking terrible, man. A club your size can't get a striker in. I mean, you could go on all night about everything. Paul Tisdale, fucking David Pleat. Where are these guys, Scott? Where are these guys bringing a Gary Hooper in for England? Where are these guys? Do you know what I mean?
Doctor, mate, he's been getting himself a prostate exam.
What are they getting played for, Scott? Hey, Scott.
Aye.
See Paul Tisdale and David Pleat, what are they getting hanged for? They're meant to be the big England market. And you can't even get as a Gary Hooper for the lower divisions, Scunthorpe or something. I don't know what they're doing, but Listen,
Jerry,
Kaiser
wait
says
till
about
that
the team.
David Leap, mate.
I called it Ivers, Kaiser. They play the same system. You've got Meader. You've got Meader, and that boy is not comfortable taking the ball into their feet. And the Celtic midfield kept playing the ball into their feet, and the ball bounced back. We should have went long and used their pace, but no, we played that slow. St Mirren, Dundee, Motherwell, all took points off Rangers, Route 1. What did we do? We played a slow game of football and give the defence time to get back. And it's just getting a fucking... Between the manager and the board, everybody's the same. The board are still stuck on wages for 25 years ago, Scott. You know, and try to bring guys, wasting time with £8 and £9 million players and going 6 and 7 weeks doing this route. Then the guy turns and says, I want 50 grand a week. You're thinking, that's a wasted fucking time. That's what guys want on that kind of wages. I'm sorry to say, but I think the board still think a fucking Frito bar is 10 pence. It's fucking, everything's moved on in this world. Do you know what I mean? But they're still stuck in their times.
Fredo's a pound, mate.
So the next time I go to Celtic, Kaiser, I'll not be buying any macaroon or tutti fruits. That's me fucking buying them.
Me and you, mate, will be eating outside
We
this
could go in
stadium.
here all night. We could sit here at 12 o'clock at night, no bother, and sit and the Celtic. It's just all wrong at the moment, and we need to fucking stop it now and don't let anything else just batter on now. But it's the same with the big striker. I know Rodgers went and used his so-called phone book to get him in, Scott, but I've not got a problem with managers using their old contacts. By the way, a lot of managers do that. So I'll give folk their chance with a Celtic strip on. I'm sorry, I'm not judging them on anything they've done. I know I wanted a
100%, Jerry.
quality striker in, but now the wind is shut.
100%, Jerry. We're living on Ange Postecoglou's Rolodex, aren't we?
Aye, but I'll give these guys my full
Vultures are
support.
picking over Ange Postecoglou's side. You know what I mean? Your Dyson Maedas, your Rio Hitates, your Kyogos.
Oh,
That's
Tati
Ange
for me.
Postecoglou signings.
You see, a Tati for me. Listen, if I was fucking Kalmaka Blah in the changing room, listen, Rio, don't fucking talk to them. Don't hold their horns. Don't lift them up. It's 90 minutes. Sell it against Rangers. I know it's your culture, but fucking come on. It's not their culture. You know what I mean? So, things like that really run me up on a Sunday when I'm watching the game, thinking, I don't want to look in their eyes this Sunday. I just want to fucking play my game, beat them, and go to there. But Rio just flaps about and fucking... So we're all frustrated, mate.
Aye.
See that game of the weekend,
what you're
boys?
saying,
See that game of the weekend, right? How come we never, like, I get it, the full safe thing for me doesn't work, right? You need to have two players on James Tavernier. Put two players up against him and get your ball down the wide. Get down wide and get the ball moving quick. And see, the thing is, see when you speed the play up, you'll know yourself, you'll get into good areas, and then you're looking for your strikers then. Just no creativity, all too safe.
John,
James Forrest. Oh,
John, I think we shook him in, right, mate? And he, like other players for the continent, he didn't realise the gravity of the situation. He was overawed. I looked at him and he looked like a deer in the headlights. He stopped when he could have toasted Tavernier and passed it back. For me, I would have played Balikwisha in the middle of the pitch and played Dyson Maeda out wide, because he's the thing that James Tavernier shuts his eyes. Captain disappointment. 10 years at Rangers.
Balikwisha gets a pass for me. Right, the guy has had one training session with the team before he played. And it's his first game. What a game to go into, you know. And we weren't playing great either, so you know, he doesn't even come into the conversation for me. He'll come good, that guy. He'll come good.
Yamada for me was a shining light. When Yamada came on, he put himself about. He dropped. He initiated play. I was like, I can't understand why he's been excluded for the European squad. And somebody says to me, you include players with European experience, right? And then Acho and all the other players there have got European experience, Champions League experience. Yamada doesn't. And I'm like, oh, okay, right, I can take that on the chin. Even if the guy was Liam Scales, right? And Shin Yamada were the two shining lights of a very, very, very dull game. I don't think they offered anything either. They signed Miovski. All he did was run into the box, stick his leg between Scales' leg, and then fall down. I was like, thank fuck we never signed him. You know what I mean? Thank fuck we never signed him, because that's all he did. and he looks like the pal for. Was it Absolutely Fabulous? And he had the pal with black hair, Doreen. He looks like a mad skinny horse. I'm like, my man's been missing cheeseburgers. He's in Italy. You've no ate a pizza, no pasta, no calzones. What's happened to you, my man? You know what I mean? You get back up to Aberdeen and get on the Aberdeen Angus. Just these big set of teeth. And he actually ran into the box, stuck his leg between Liam Scales' legs, and then fell down. And they actually pointing that out and think that's a penalty, bro. They think that's a penalty. They think, and more than that, mate, like Conor Barron grabbed Dyson Maeda's shirt and pulled him into his elbow.
And then elbowed him up, didn't he, like that?
He pulled him in, mate, and elbowed him in the face. Maeda's face is spewing blood. And they think free kick to Rangers. Of course.
Wait, just Barry. He's a young guy, isn't he? He's a young guy, but it looks as if he's just come off a 27-hour shift.
I swear to God, mate. Right, look, Barron. I look at Conor Barron, and I think to myself, Matt Damon, Jason Bourne's mum threw the afterbirth away, right? And Rangers signed it. He is the ugliest person I've ever seen in my life. If he knew Krav Maga, I would roll up a Rizzler magazine and scud his head in with it. He's just in the corner for me, mate. I think I might go around and do such. You know, I might buy a dandy or some sort of magazine for the shop in the corner. I know people in the modern generation don't use magazines. I might roll an iPhone up, mate, and beat his head in with an iPhone. He does man, and when I see him, I'm like, he's such an ugly little disreputable rat.
Right, so lads, this is the Celtic squad going into the rest of the season, apart from the Ignacio up front as well, obviously. So that's what we've been left with. A bit of a shambles, really, going into the Europa League, as we all know. We should have just sold Maeda, as I said earlier. You know, we've got the cover now. We should have just sold him, took the 20-odd million, whatever it was going to be. This is our Europa League squad. Again, a bit of a shambles, but we'll see how we get on. We obviously wish the boys all the best, but that is our Europa League squad with our ins and outs in the transfer window. So something else that happened this week, and we have now been added to that list, is the open letter to the Celtic board from the Celtic fans, the Celtic media, and the Celtic Supporters Club. I'm sure I don't need to read it out for everybody. All the key points are there. Everything that the Celtic fans are asking of the board and of the manager and of the club has all been put into that letter, which has been very well constructed. We don't need to read it out, John. Like I said, we know all the key points. Everybody spoke about it for the past week. It's been the hot topic. The Four Leaf Clover podcast has now been added to the list of fans that have signed it and fan media, so on and so forth. But one of the things for me, John, is that we all need to come to some sort of solution, don't we? And I think that's what needs to happen here. But what is the solution? What are we going to do about this? How are we going to deal with it?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I've said it before and I say it again, dialogue. We need to know what's happening behind the scenes. We need to know see if there is problems, tell us about the problems. We'll find somebody that knows the answer, because let's be honest, right? If there's something that's going on behind the scenes to pull the club apart, let us know about it. We'll soon tell you what you need to do. I mean, I think the funny thing that we always look at is we look at the Celtic board and we're always saying, sack the board. We want communication for the board, first of all, right? Because some people might say, right, and this might be the full thing, you've won, 13 out of 14 trophies, titles, how can you be so, spoiled? Look, we can see the warning signs here. This is the start of the season. The warning signs are clear. We can see it at the end of last season, and we can see the way that it's going. But for years, it's been radio silent, and radio silence needs to stop. I think when Don Mackay came in, he was a breath of fresh air for about 2 months, but then he vanished. I don't know what happened to him. And again, maybe that innovative dialogue and open communication with the fans isn't applicable to this board, but that needs to change.
Yeah, Andy, we're just looking for transparency, really, aren't we? Dialogue, all these things. We've got a club channel that does absolutely fuck all. You know, we spoke about it
Yeah.
on this podcast a million times. Now, as much as we don't like to talk about the other side of the city, they've actually come out and explained their transfer window to their fans on their fan media, on their club channel, and spoke about where the money's went, why they've spent what they've done, so on and so forth. This is what Celtic need to do. This is what the board need to do. This is where Paul Tisdale comes into the equation. You know, if it's like you said earlier, if a guy's not doing his job or a woman's not doing their job or whatever, then you get rid of them. And clearly this guy, for me, hasn't done his job. We've not heard from him. We've not heard from the chief exec. We've not heard from anybody apart from the manager, who's been rolled out to give us contradictory comments all the time because he doesn't know what's fucking going on either.
Aye, basically, I mean, you're talking about communication between the fans. They can't even communicate between each other. So what chance have we got? You know, I don't think that they know their arse for their elbow. I'd love to be a fly in the wall. Are we actually ever going to find out the reasons as to why it's went so bad in this transfer window and leading up to that as well? Let's be honest. John's right that, you know, the writing's been on the wall with us. Again, I'm baffled by we need to. I can understand people saying back the team. Of course, we need to back the team, and we always will. But when do we let our voices know? When do we do something about it? You know, and how do we do it? And people saying, "Oh, all you're doing is disrupting things." Like, so what do you want us to do? Just sit in silence? That's what they want. They want conflict with the fans because then there's no agreement. What you need is get us all together. And I'm telling you what I would do, right? I know the first game's away from home, but the first game at Celtic Park, everybody does a huddle, but they don't do it. They just stand arm in arm with their backs all right to the pitch, but the backs to the board. But apart from the ones in the main stand, they're all standing staring at the board, staring at them, no saying a word, but arm in arm and showing that they're not happy with things. Be totally silent, but it's visual. It's a visual thing that will get beamed round about everywhere. I've got to do something. And top of that, I would have a half-time walkout. I'd empty the stadium. I'd do a Rangers type of thing. But purposely, you know, just empty. Go support the team to start the game. Aye, fair dues. But listen, we need to make a stand somewhere. Half-time, if you continue to go along with the way things are going, nothing is going to change. I'm not saying that is going to change things, but you need to let these people know. You need to be a fucking nuisance because they look down on us. That's why there's no communication. I said it before. I don't even know what Michael Nicholson sounds like when he speaks. I couldn't tell what his voice was like. If somebody was on the telly like they used to do with Only an Excuse and doing a voice impression of Michael Nicholson, I would just take it for granted that that's what it is because I've no idea what it sounds like. And I'm not talking about coming out and doing a Willie Collum thing every month where you've got to explain the club's business every month. But come out and say something. Surely, all they need to do, I mean, nowadays, everybody's on social media, whether everybody can see them or not, whether incognito. They know what's going on. They know the way fans feel about us. Come out and say something. Say something because this is not good and it's not going to end good for them. It's in a sorry state, which is really heartbreaking because I was really looking forward to this season start. Before we just 5 games into the season, you know, we're 6 points ahead in the league, unbeaten, and but that you've got to remember if this continues on the way it is, these 6 points could go like that. Or it takes a couple of bad results and all the good work you've done is and then you're really chasing it after that. So I think we as fans we need to stick together, and if we're all looking for the same goal, then we all stick together and do it together. We don't want to be a fractured fan base.
Bang on, mate. And John Paul here, the walkout's not the answer. It's not the players' fault. That's a valid point there actually as well about the walkout. It's not the players' fault. You know, it's the board and the way. It's a difficult one, Andy. I do get what you're saying, mate. It's a difficult one. What action do the fans take? Kaiser, what action would you take as a fan? What's your solution to this problem?
Personally, my man, I support the team to my fullest, right? I'll sing the songs, I'll rive in the stands, I'll take my sheet of lino, I'll break dance in my seat, I'll scream and I'll shout for our squad to win. I won't buy any merchandise. £34 million last year Celtic made on merchandise. £34 million. That's seen as signed as part of Adidas elite clubs, right? It's seen as sign a 10-year deal, with Adidas. I wouldn't buy any merch whatsoever. Nothing. I won't buy a kebab pie. I won't buy your flat juice. I won't buy your £6 Scotch pie. I'll buy nothing within Paradise. I'll go and I'll support the team. I'll support the manager. I'll give them my fullest backing. I will sing Sack the Board at the top of my lungs for the entire game. Right, mate? I will be there. I will be there for it all. I want to watch the football. At the end of the day, fans have paid their season book. They've got a right to be there. They've got a right to watch. I won't buy Europa League tickets. I won't be part of the home ticket scheme. I will opt out of that. I won't take that. I won't take that as a given. 30,000 fans just taking a ticket for £25, £35, £45. Right? I won't do that. I won't have any part of that. What I will do is I will go to the Legends game tomorrow. Right? I will pay my £18 for an adult and go to the Legends game tomorrow. Because number one, I want to see the legends back at Paradise, Tom Rogic and stuff like that.
Yep.
But that supports a charitable cause. That supports the kitchen that gives people food. That doesn't support the board. That isn't money into Celtic. That supports the foundation. So I would like to emphasise to every fan, look, the tickets are available. Please go and check them out. When it comes to protesting within the stadium, like Andy said, I would love it if we all just stood silently and stared at the board from every corner of the stadium, just give them the eyes, just give them the angry eyes for everywhere. Give them the huddle, turn your back on them. Support the team, legends. Look, I don't want to diminish the team. I don't want to harm Celtic. That's where they've got us over a barrel. That's where they drag us over a barrel with our DNA, our emotion and our feeling. We are all born Celtic. We love Celtic. We support the team through thick and thin. We are there. But you've got a right to say what's upsetting you. You've got a right to point the finger at what's going wrong. Right? So for me, halftime walkouts and stuff, I don't want to be synonymous with what's going on in the blue half of the city. They're walking out because their team's shite.
Yeah.
My team's no shite.
Yeah.
My board's shite.
Agree with
You know
that.
what I mean, mate? My board is shite. I'm not walking out. I paid my season ticket. I'm sitting in my seat. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to support the players. I'm going to support the manager. But I'm going to hit them where it hurts. Right in the fucking pocket.
Yeah.
No
I think
merch. No,
I think that's the way ahead, mate. I think that's the way ahead for sure. Jerry, what's your thoughts on it, mate? Hit them in the pocket and don't let the team suffer with these walkouts.
Punch them in the pocket, Jerry.
It's a bit like Scott. It's a hard one. See, I've got the season books there. Obviously, I need to do something because enough is enough now, you know. Fans have enough. They don't listen to us. We're the bottom rung of the ladder. They don't care about us as much as they should have. I'll tell you a wee story. When I went to Liverpool, Scott. I went and did Liverpool one day to do the tour. And I was walking out and a guy shouted at me and says, mate, we're just going to fix the seats in the Kop. Do you want one for one of the mains? And he gave us a seat, Scott. They were fixing a seat and they gave us a bit of seat, right? I've got it framed in my room. And Celtic Football Club's never once in 25 years phoned up to say, right, the seat's broke, do you want a bit of it? I'm just saying for talking sake. They do nothing for you. You don't ask you, they've asked you for nothing. They take your money and that's all it's expected of you. Just come, sit for 90 minutes, eat, sing and fuck off. That's it. That's expected of you. So for me, I can understand, I don't want to hang with the players too much. I don't want to start because I want to win football in the end. So it's a catch-22 where What do we do? I'm not taking the Europa League tickets, but I'm not for one person to turn around and tell some guy not to buy them because if he wants to take his kids to go and see Celtic, that's fair enough and understandable. I'm just not buying them personally, but I'm not in any position to be any different from anybody else to say, on you go, pal. So you can't expect people not to buy the tickets that are there. So, as I say, listen, I keep saying, I just wish I wasn't even talking about this conversations, lads, to be fair to you. I can't believe after a few weeks, Andy Neil was saying he was looking forward to the season, and all of a sudden, a few weeks down the road, we're talking about that. Listen, the fucking board have put us in this position. It's simple. This isn't we don't want to do this. Not one Celtic fan wants to know. Turn up at these games and help the players. We've done it for years, and it's ring me. We go there and we get 90 minutes. Every Celtic supporter goes to the games, New United games, wherever. We've all got problems in life, Scott. But that wee 90 minutes takes that away. That wee silly 90 minutes takes that away for us. Then and that's been took off us with this fucking board. Do you know, just have a wee bit of happiness in our lives. That's all. So it's more angry than anything. I'm actually talking about the subject, and the board have put us in a position to do something, and we're trying to make it as less as possible for the players, mate. So we've got a league title to win there, and hopefully we win that and we'll get together again, Scott. That's what I'm hoping for, pal.
That's it, mate. That's exactly it, mate. That's exactly it.
Scott,
We need
I think
to
it would
get.
speak volumes, Jerry. 60,000 Celtic fans on the Celtic way, applauding the players into the ground, but no being in the stands. Silence speaks louder than words, in my opinion, as well. So it's that catch-22 situation. Some people think this is the best course of action. That's the best course of action. Really, we want to support the team, right? Back the manager, sack the board.
Yeah, the silence speaks volumes. That's it. James Allen Wiper has hit the nail on the head. Lads, we're running out of time here. We've went over time, so let's move on a wee bit here. Our next league fixtures are next weekend. The boys are playing. 2 seconds, sorry, what's going on here? Yep, we've got Kilmarnock away next weekend. This is what we have for the rest of the month. Kaiser said it earlier. There's a Legends game going on at the weekend with the international games on. We take on a Manchester United side. They mentioned it as well. Tam Rogic and our friend of the show, Simon Donnelly, is playing in it as well. Then we're away to Partick Thistle in the Premier Sports Cup. Then we've got Red Star Belgrade in the Europa League. And then we've got Hibernian at the end of the month. So a busy, busy, busy month. But like I said, we've been running out of time here today for some reason. So we're going to hand it over to our Jerry to finish the show. And it is time for...
It's Jerry's Big Fat Quiz.
We get a bit of harmony back, boys.
Get a bit of harmony,
Yes,
let's go.
yes.
Wee quiz.
In the quiz, wait till I get my pen and paper out, Jerry, right?
John, sorry if some of these are older than you, Jai. So sorry, pal. I'm thinking a few young ones in the next one, you know.
Don, if you got a bit of pen and paper, aye.
I got a pen and paper. Yeah, let's do it.
Aye, good
Let's
stuff.
do it.
Just copy the chat, right, John? That's my top tip.
You got a bit of harmony back on Friday night. You know what I mean? Used to be good nights with Cracker Jack, Monkey Magic, Friends.
Oh, Monkey Magic, mate.
EFI Friday. It was good Friday nights. Anyway. Here we go, lads. And I said earlier, that's the first question. From which French club did Celtic sign Bobo Balde for £900,000?
Well, that's what you're going to give me if I get it right.
From which club did Celtic sign Bobo Balde for £900,000?
Aye, I know this one, I believe. If I remember right.
This one.
If I remember right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, Scott, we'll start with you, pal. Are he's already? Aye, he's already. John's already.
Aye, I'm all ready.
Right, Scott, you go, pal.
We'll see who's reading the comments. Toulouse.
Ah,
Scott, he's reading the comments, and there we go.
John.
Oh, no.
Oh,
John.
I went St Etienne, but that's a miles off.
Andy.
I went Marseille.
And
I was in
Kaiser.
Marseille today, so I see that, bro. I went to lose because I read the comments. Sorry,
You're a cheating bastard.
Is it true that
So,
Rangers are
alright,
changing?
Jerry,
Is that?
shut
Is it
up.
true that? Is it true
So
that
the
that's what
answer-
Rangers?
Well,
Jerry,
Andy, but-
two seconds. Is it true that that's what Rangers are changing their name to lose?
To lose.
That's what I know.
Not
So I
too
read
wrong.
it, so I'm going to say my French here. So the answer
Aye,
was,
very
lads, to lose. That's my French.
To lose.
My Wayne was talking, see, 6
AKA
months, my
a
Wayne
Rangers
was talking
state of
French,
mind.
Andy. Do you know that?
Aye.
I used to figure down the shootings, you say, wee. Here
Used
we
to, used
go.
to fling people in the sea, mate, and they'd say merci,
Name,
merci.
here we go, Kaiser. Name the club John Hartson made his senior debut for. Do you want a guess or do you want the...
Nope,
Alright,
got
yeah.
it.
Okay, well done.
Got it. How fast did you get? Has he been sending you the answers?
Name the club
Jerry.
John Hartson made his senior debut for.
Right, wait till the
And we'll
chat
start
gets it,
with-
Jerry, right, and then I'll get
We'll
it.
start with you, John.
Start with Kaiser before the comments come
I
up.
know.
Aye, start with you,
Shut
Kaiser.
up. Shut up.
Fucking write it down.
It was Southampton.
Southampton, Kaiser.
Nah,
Scotty.
I went for Luton Town, mate. I think it was.
John.
I thought it was a Welsh team. I thought it was Swansea.
Andy.
100% Luton.
Well done, lads. The answer was Luton Town. Yep,
Andy's a
100%.
cheater.
Well done. So this is a 4-pointer here, lads, right? Four players signed for Celtic last season. So you can count a loan deal getting signed. 4 players came from which English clubs? So there's 4 players signed last season, and they came from I want the 4 English clubs they came from last season.
Who the
What?
fuck did we sing this?
Last season, as in when the summer
As in
transfer
last
window.
season. As
I
in
saw last
season.
year 4 players signed for Celtic last season and came from English clubs. What was the 4 English clubs?
Right.
You got a point for each club.
Yep.
Come on, chat. Don't let me down.
Oh.
Come on, chat.
Oh.
Right, Crystal Palace, Norwich.
Oh no, it was near fucking. What you writing that for? You fucking daft cunt.
Because it's not in chat. Shh.
I don't
Guys,
look at the
you still
chat.
locking your telly, man.
mate.
Guys, is looking at an old Commodore 16.
Last season.
Last season. Obviously, it was this last summer. And do you think about it last summer?
Big Pussy.
I know I've got one.
Last summer.
Just trying to.
Boopy, you'll need fucking help. What's the question? You fucking rat.
Is ready to go for it, lads? Are you still thinking?
Norwich, Arsenal
Aye.
and Man City.
So, Kaiser, we'll go with you. Many teams you thinking?
Crystal Palace, Norwich, Arsenal, Man City. 4 teams.
So you said there.
Don't say not, Jerry. I'm never buying you a beer
That's
again.
all right, mate. Right, Scotty boy, what's your 4, pal?
I've only got Norwich and Crystal Palace, mate. Oh, mine's went blank.
Pass. And Jai,
For the
on.
record, boys, Jerry, but all the beers.
I've went with the same as Kaiser. Norwich, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, and City.
Sorry, who's your teams again, John? Sorry. No.
Norwich, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, and City. Man City.
Okay. Andy.
Let's go, John.
Are you're talking about loan players as well here then?
I will.
No, Andy.
One player wasn't on and got signed, so that's Norwich.
Right, I've went for Sheffield United because I know Trusty
Well
came
done,
through.
Andy.
Oh,
Who
That's
else?
that's all I got, mate.
Did you just get one?
Andy.
Aye.
Lads, the 4 teams was Aston Villa and Salo. Villa.
Forgot about him.
He done Norwich, Trusty Sheffield United, and Big Schlup, Crystal Palace. That was your
Aye,
4
he was
teams.
on loan, that's I never
I've
even
got
thought of
Crystal
him 'cause
Palace
it
in
was
it.
on
He
loan.
goes,
Shocker.
I'll take that. I'll take that shot.
See, I thought
Alright.
Tierney in the pre-season. That's what I thought. You
Well
know,
done,
pre-
John.
Yeah,
pre-
the
contract,
summer
but-
before. Last
Aye.
summer, mate. I mean,
Mate, my
So-
head's just full of pussy.
number 4, lads. The
I'll be your
fullback Diego Laxlet was the first player from which South American country
Oh, God.
to play for Celtic? When he came for AC Milan.
Yeah. Got it.
Who was a South American country?
Yeah, Google it, right, mate.
And we'll start with you, Andy. Well, it's whenever you're ready, pal.
Uruguay.
John.
Uruguay. Don't know if you can see
Well
that well.
done.
Uruguay.
Kaiser.
Uruguay, mate. I don't, mate. It cuts my
And
mouth shut.
Scotty boy.
Uruguay, mate.
Well done, lads. The answer was Uruguay. Well done, lads. Between the Scottish Premier League lads and the Scottish Championship, how many managers have played for Celtic right now?
6.
So you've got the Scottish Premier League and the Scottish Championship. How many managers?
Right. Oh,
I'll
right.
give you a
Right.
point for each one tonight, yeah.
Okay.
So,
What a question that is.
aye.
Oh, that's...
Give you a point for each one. Don't get me wrong, so you'll try to work out. I'll need to text Carol
To
Voder.
write them down, mate. I'll just guess a number.
Well, I was just saying, I'll give you a point for each team, each manager they get, Scott. How's that?
Right,
I'll
that's
give you a
fine.
point. It'll take me a wee while to work all the numbers at the
We
end.
need to name them now. It's not a guessing game. Get it right up, you Scotty. You're bang out of order.
Right.
So you don't cheat? Wilson
I
Lennon.
cheat all the time. What are you talking about? I can name.
Shh.
To
In fact, aye.
give me a second, right? I can hear you, but I'm running away.
What's his name?
What I got?
The guy's away to Google and everything now, man. He's really cheating now. What? There's 2 in the Premier League
Yep.
and there's 4. There's
Yep.
4 or 5 or 2 or 3 Championship.
Right.
Really?
Go
Well,
for it.
we have got a go.
Oh,
It's a couple I've not got then.
There's a few in the Championship, Andy.
Yep.
Yeah, man, you can't go for a pitch. Go to the toilet, you're going to go on something.
ah,
I was
Ready, lads?
actually Googling it. Don't worry about it, boys. I've got this.
Right.
All right.
We'll start with you, Kaiser.
stuff.
When are you going for?
3, mate.
3. What's your
Yeah.
3, mate? What's your 3?
Robson,
Right,
Bruni,
right,
and Wilson.
right. Well done. 3. Right. And I'll go to you, Andy.
I've got 6, mate. So I've got Jim Goodwin. I've got Neil Lennon, the Mushroom Mark Wilson. I've got Bruni, Presley, and Robson.
Right, in fairness, I didn't
6
remember.
you say there, Andy, aye.
Andy.
Aye, 6, mate. Aye, 6.
And only you, John.
Oh, I get 3, but I think I'd only maybe get 2. I've got Stephen Presley and Robson, but I didn't know whether Clover Rangers are they in League One? Because Paul Hartley.
I didn't know the Championship, pal.
Aye, so 2 out of 6. Shocker.
Good, pal, right.
Don't
Sorry,
invite him
boy.
back.
I got
Sorry,
6
boy.
as well,
Thought of
mate.
Elvis and looked at his face.
I get 6, the
Sorry, boy.
same as Andy, mate. Same as Andy, same 6, mate. So I got Wilson, Lennon, Brown, Presley, Robson, Goodwin. Missing
Off his
one.
chat.
Well
Oh,
done,
good
boys.
job.
2 in the Premier League. Goodwin and Presley, Robson, Brown, Wilson, and Neil Lennon. Well done, lads.
I can't
Numbers.
believe I forgot about Lennon, right?
Number.
I can't believe
numbers.
I forgot about Lennon, Jerry. Sorry.
Well
And
done.
Presley, even I've seen him. He looks like Susan Boyle went through fucking that. Where is it? Chernobyl. He looks like Susan Boyle marched through Chernobyl, mate. What happened to Presley, man? Jeez, oh.
Right, you ready, number 6, mate?
Aye, go for it, mate.
Excluding players from the UK and Ireland, which country has provided Celtic with the most players? I'll give you 3. A, Holland, B, Sweden, or C, Norway.
Oh,
So excluding players from the UK and Ireland, which country has provided Celtic with the most players? Holland, Sweden, or Norway?
do you need a number as well?
No, I'll tell you that if you want after it, mate. But if you're doing that, you're tap draw.
Look, mate, I know how deceitful you are, Jerry, right? And every fibre of my being says Sweden. And that's how I know it's Norway, bro.
Are you just thinking because you like ABBA, Kaiser?
No. Well, I do like ABBA, mate. Knowing me, knowing you.
Ah,
There's fuck all we can do.
Right, come on, now, get up that
knowing
tone.
right,
you.
right,
This is
come on,
serious.
come on.
Well, because a serious thing here. Here we go, come on. Right, we'll start with
Serious.
Scotty boy,
I went for Holland, pal.
Holland, and John,
I've went for Sweden. That's what I've went for. So
Andy,
I was stuck between Holland and Sweden, and I've went with Sweden.
Kaiser.
I went Norway, my man.
Lads, the answer is Holland. There's been
Oh.
13 players signed from Holland. So there has.
13.
I forgot about
Aye,
I
13
forgot about
players
Van
signed.
der Snow and Reggie.
A lot,
Lingard.
innit?
If you want them, I'll give you the names of Wednesday night. No good time tonight.
Aye.
Number seven, lads. Jock Stein was briefly manager of Leeds in 1978. How many days did he last? A, 40, B, 44, or C, 48? Jock Stein was briefly the manager of Leeds in 1978. How many days did he last? 40, 44, or 48? And we'll go with you, Scotty boy.
I just went for 44, mate.
Kaiser
I went for 48, mate, because it wasn't wrote in chat yet.
and Jai. John boy.
48. 48.
Let's go, John boy. Think
Andy.
he's a rang.
It was 40, 44.
Lads, the answer was 44 days he was in the job.
Oh,
So he was.
Cheer, Andy.
Terrible, and big Jock Stein in the job. So he did. Number 8, lads.
Left to go to the Scotland job, didn't he?
That's right, aye. I think a
He
few
passed
folk
away,
took these
heart
job
attack.
quite quick, weren't they, after?
Yeah.
So, in what country was defender Malik Naroski born? So there's no Higby, so what country was defender Malik Naroski born, or Naroki born?
I know that. I know that.
Where was he born? I know where he's
Yes.
from, but I don't know where he was born.
I wrote Scandinavia.
That's
Some side of the country, innit?
He's Scandinavian, Andy. Shut the fuck up.
We'll start with you, Andy boy.
He is from Germany.
And John.
I'm going Poland.
Kaiser.
I went Scandinavia, but I don't think that's a country. And Andy's shame.
And Scotty boy.
Andy.
I think it's Poland, mate, as well.
Andy Brilliance on the answer is Germany, lads. He's born in Germany.
Plays for Poland, born in Germany. Aye.
Thought it was a
Yeah,
trick
well
question,
done. Well done, lads. Well done. Number 9, lads. And he's managed a few clubs there, so you've got to watch a year. Which Belgian club did Ronnie Delia manage in 2023-24? Which Belgian club did Ronnie Delia manage in 2023-24?
Oh, what's that name again?
Yep. Got it.
Aye, it's aye, got it. Thank you.
And we'll start with Geyser.
Genk. Is that how we sell OA?
Geyser, your shit's like family fortunes here, man.
Yes.
Hey, Andy boy.
Standard Liège.
They're not even
Unlucky,
fucking
Andy.
good.
Unlucky the year before. Scotty boy.
Same, mate. Standard Liège.
Oh, unlucky, lad.
French. What's he
John.
on with?
Do you know, I left it blank and then I've just thought I've
John,
just
just say
stick
stand
Anderlecht
up
for.
the edge because they two are right.
Who you going for, pal?
I'm just going for a laugh. I'll say Anderlecht 'cause I'm miles off.
They're using the Gemini app on their phone. They're like,
Well, lads, the answer was Club Brugge.
Oh, was
Oh.
it?
Club
There
Brugge.
you go.
Oh, what? That was in my head.
Oh, wow.
The answer
This
is
is
Club
who
Brugge,
pumped
lads.
Rangers 9-1 and I got it.
And the last question, the final question, lads. This is a 5-pointer. I'll give you a point for each position, right? Put these 5 Celtic players in order, starting with most caps for Scotland, right? So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 at the top, all the way down.
Hilarious.
So it's Paul McStay, Craig Gordon. You want to write your 5 players down? Paul McStay, Craig Gordon, Roy Aitken, John Collins, and Tom Boyd. So, starting for the top, who get the most caps all the way down to? I'll give you a point for each position you get, right?
Here we go.
Read them again, please, Jerry.
I need bother, pal. Paul McStay, Craig Gordon, Roy Aitken, John Collins, and Tom Boyd. So, obviously, I put Kenny Lucia here at the top and the way down. So, you can work out for there, boys.
Yeah. Think so. I think I've got it. Think. Maybe not.
Wow. No,
Anyway, how's
that's
Scotland? Does anyone know how
Right, who-
Scotland's getting on North Macuton? Denmark, like.
they're winning 17-0, mate. Don't worry about it.
I heard it was 16 to Kaiser. You at it?
That's me. I did a go on. It was an overhead kick.
Who's the last one? Craig Gordon, John Collins, Paul McStay, Roy Aitken. Who else did we mention?
Tom
Yeah,
Boyd.
Tom Boyd.
Tom
Jack.
Boyd.
Tom Boyd, pal.
Right, that's my list. Short
Who
list.
wants to go first then, start with the highest? Kaiser, we'll get Kaiser out of the way, right? Kaiser, who you going with the highest cap?
Craig Gordon.
Number 2.
John Collins.
Number 3.
Boyd.
Boyd.
Yeah.
Number 4.
McStay.
Number 5.
Aiken. Because it's the better the players got, the
Done,
dirtier the
Kaiser.
fucking national selection got.
We'll tell you now, Kaiser, without changing it, so. Right? So, I'm going to John. What's your 5, pal?
First 2 is the same as Kaiser's. Craig Gordon, John Collins, first 2. So Craig Gordon first, John Collins second. The 3 after, I've just went Paul McStay, Roy Aitken, and then Tom Boyd.
Yeah.
Remember they victimised Celtic.
And Andy.
I've actually went Craig Gordon. Craig Gordon number
Gordon.
1. Craig Gordon number 1. Roy Aitken number 2. Paul McStay number 3. John Collins number 4. And Tom Boyd number 5.
And you get 2. And Scotty boy.
I went for Aiken, McStay, Boyd, Gordon, Collins.
Oh.
Oh, you went Collins
Collins,
last year, yeah, Scotty.
Yeah.
You got one.
Was what they victimised Celtic players for.
So here we go, lads. He's listening.
Right,
Craig
go.
Gordon was top with 81 caps.
Okay.
Paul McStay was second with 76.
Oh.
Tom Boyd was third with 72 caps.
Hmm.
John Collins had 58 caps in fourth place. And last was Roy Aitken with 57 caps, lads. Andy, you get 2. John, you get 1. Kaiser get 2. And Scott, you get 1, pal.
I get
Well, you
2,
got
pal. I got McStay and Boyd in second and third.
Who was it you had?
McStay and Boyd second and third, mate. I had them.
Oh, I see, McStay was right, 1.
Yep.
And Boyd, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
2 there, pal.
Had them in order,
God,
mate.
he's a
Well
cheater,
done, lads.
by the way, mate. He's a fucking cheater.
All knowledge, mate. Knowledge is power.
He's got it on his Scrabble board. He's got a Scrabble board, mate, and he's waiting them out and putting them back in.
He's got a teleprompter behind his screen.
Yes.
Giving the answers.
Yes.
Looking closer at the camera.
So, I think with us lads was John, you get 6, pal, out the quiz. Guys, you get 9. Andy, you get 13. And Scotty again with 15, lads. Well done.
Unlucky for some.
This
played.
Friday night is a wrap.
This Friday night is certainly a fucking wrap,
That's
mate. You've
Friday
called
night
it.
is a wrap.
It's Jerry's big fat quiz.
I love
So,
a big fat
ladies
quiz.
and gentlemen, that's us for this evening. Went a wee bit over time tonight, I would say. Good chat.
Good
We
else, mate.
covered everything that needed to be covered. Enjoy the Legends game tomorrow. If you're going to be watching it, we'll be back with you on Wednesday night. Thank you so much for John. Your
Right,
trial was a massive success. He's got the hat trick.
John.
He's taking the match ball home. Well done, John. We'll hopefully see you again, mate. Thank you, Andy.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Kaiser. Thank you, Jerry. And hopefully our Paddy, who's not with us tonight, will be back with us on Wednesday
Paddy
night.
the
as well.
Paddy.
He's on his
Where
travels.
is
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Enjoy your weekend and come on the Celtic.
Sack
Hail,
your
hail.
board. Sack
Yeah,
the
good
board.
work.
with the four-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way, for they play football the Celtic way, for they play football the Celtic way, 'cause they play football